In October 2009, Russell Williams was a 46-year-old decorated colonel and commander of the Canadian Forces Base CFB in Toronto, Ontario, one of the largest, busiest Air Forces base in Canada. William was regarded a model military man, a shining bright star who had advanced quickly through the ranks over the course of his 23-year career. But Rusell was found guilty in a lot of horrific and terrible crimes, and I'm gonna show you guys. We are gonna hear in Crime Spot, we are gonna see the terrible, horrific things that William Williams has done in a police investigation. I hope you guys will find interesting, and let's begin. So, was Russell Williams a rapist or murderer? He was found guilty in a confession in a police interrogation. He was guilty in a first-degree murder. Okay, he was guilty in, he was a rapist, and he was found his confession in a police interrogation. He was guilty on all of the 88 charges. Some people called him a monster, but let's see in his interrogation if he really justifies it.
The guy I was speaking with on whatever night that was Russ as well.
Oh yeah.
And he took every number I had.
Yeah. Now they were doing some pretty thorough interviews that night.
Yeah, absolutely. I was
All right.
glad to see it.
I'm just gonna move your gloves here. That's a little microphone, just to make sure there's nice and clear. As you can see here, everything in this room is videotaped and audio taped.
Check.
You ever been interviewed by the police in a room like this before? Or?
I've never been interviewed like this.
Oh no? Okay.
No.
Let's get this set up here.
I guess the closest interview by NIS for top secret clearance.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, again, Russell, I appreciate you coming in. An investigation like this, I mean, I'm sure you can appreciate it's been big news.
Russell Williams is a sick pervert and murderer, but not a psychopath or torn maintains. Now, we saw Russell Williams, commander of Canada's most important airbase, was charged last year with 2 murders and 2 sex assaults. Many people immediately assumed he was not a good person. He was truly evil. What else could explain his behavior? I've seen a few those manipulative, charismatic, callous, iron fist in the velvet glove con artists over the years. If there is one thing they have in common, they all lack a conscience. Williams seemed to fit the bill. Not all psychopaths are murderers. Of course, some are swindlers, others are workless bullies. So, this guy definitely really the accusations really towards him are certainly real. Now, however, according to a new book, Global Mail crime reporter Timothy Appleby Williams is not a psychopath, despite pleading guilty to 82 offenses in a New York kind of a monster. Appleby paints surprising portrait for men who at times demonstrated genuine consideration to his friend in college. He was also capable of feeling shame for his action, according to the book. So let me guys continue with the interrogation, and let me guys, what do you guys think about my perspective about this whole case about Rusell Williams? Let's continue.
Yeah. Especially down Belleville way. And, you know, obviously our approach to cases like this is that we don't give up on somebody being alive until we get evidence that they're not. So because of that, we're treating Jessica's case as an emergent situation, obviously. So we're fast forwarding things that we might normally take our time with, and that's why we're here on a Sunday afternoon.
Sure.
So again, I appreciate it.
Okay.
We're going to do a pretty thorough interview today. Okay. And the reason for that is because the last thing we want is to be calling people back again and again and again. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over a number of things, and I'm going to explain what all those are to you. Okay. I'm a big coffee guy. I don't know if you're a coffee guy or not, but I didn't want to drink in front of you. So
No, I appreciate that.
all right, go ahead.
I could definitely. Are they black?
Yeah, they're just black with sugar.
I could definitely taking my just wearing my phone. Probably have it a little bit.
Sorry, what? Sorry.
Gum. Just
Oh,
a
okay.
piece of gum.
Well, there's napkins there if you want to toss it or whatever.
I appreciate that.
All right, and again, like I said, this interview is going to be very thorough. But again, I have a simple rule when I talk to people. It's I'm sure you're the same way. I treat everybody with respect. I don't want to ask if they do the same for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by going through what your rights are. Okay? Just like everybody else. Okay. Have you ever read your rights before?
No.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it on TV a whole bunch of times, but that's usually the American version. So I'll go over it with you briefly. Okay. Basically, in Canada, as you know, I'm sure, is we all have our rights guaranteed under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
Right.
Okay. Now, Russell, just to avoid any confusion, because people do get confused when they're talked to by the police, is that you're obviously not under arrest here today. Okay. Anytime you feel you want to leave here, you feel free to do so. The door's not locked. Teresa will walk you down the lobby anytime you want. Okay. If there's anything that comes up in our interview today, Russell, that you feel you want to talk to.
So this guy definitely really describes him as a person that is so truly that is a mental issue. Let me guys show you the DSM-5 diagnosis of Rusell Williams. So one of the basis of information, it appears that Rusell Williams could meet the criteria for a number of possible diagnoses according to Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. So he had a narcissistic personality disorders, antisocial personality disorder, and some more, accordingly to what was found in his interrogation. Now, paraphiliac disorder. He also had, and he had also something that was very cool, because he had a mental issue that has a bad like sadism. So he is inflicting pain and serious sexual pleasure. The first scientific study of sexual homicide, psychopathia sexual, was considered a German psychiatrist, was conducted by a German psychiatrist, and so he had really bad things towards animals and kids. So this is the sadism that this guy had. Now, this case is very cool, right? Could you go, you do this thing to rape these kids? This is unthinkable.
A lawyer about. You just let me know, okay?
Sure.
And the reason for that is I want to explain to you exactly what's going on here, okay? Jessica Lloyd is one of 4 cases that we're currently investigating, okay? And essentially what's happened, the second incident on your road there,
Yeah.
a couple of doors down. Ever been in her house?
No. We met her once, I think the first summer we were there, so in 04.
Okay, and that's what I'm getting at. Again, this is a credibility issue, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to come and see you 2 weeks from now and say, you know, Russ, our CSI people went in that house. And are you familiar with how DNA works?
I think broadly, yes, I would guess so.
One of the challenges we have in 2010 with DNA is it's become so precise that I guess the best way to explain it is I can think back 15 years ago when I started in violent crime investigation.
Yeah.
For us to get a DNA match the sample we had to find was, probably would have filled half of one of these cups.
Okay.
Because they destroy so much of the sample in the testing.
Okay.
Essentially, DNA has become more and more precise to the point where when you and I walked in this room earlier today, we could have sat down, talked for 30 seconds, walked out. CSI officer could have come in 3-4 days from now, did some swabs here, and he would have found your DNA and my DNA, and probably a lot of other people's DNA.
Sure.
A little bit gross to think about, but essentially, as we talk, a little bit aspirate comes out of our mouth that contains our DNA, or or our skin cells contain our DNA, and that's what I'm getting at. If you were ever in Laurie's residence, quite possibly, quite innocently, your DNA could be in that residence. Has there ever been a time you've been in there?
No.
Okay. What about the other lady down the road on?
And again, guys, this is just some highlights from the crime investigation of him, so I can actually let know what was really the psychology of his crime. So I'm not gonna show you the 2 hour right now, but I'm gonna show you the highlights, and that will show that he was a truly bad person. So, in his 40-something switch within him, leading him to become one of Canada's most heinous criminals. It began with a series of break-ins where he entered the woman's bedroom and photographed himself wearing their lingerie and then took their underwear with him. I can't even let you guys know the terrible things. I can't but points out that the home invasions often occurred on weekends when he was away from the city FB Trenton, where he worked. His crimes escalated to the point where he was entering houses when women were at home. William made a child pornography on his computer, and they called him a new kind of monster. Now, of course, he's a new kind of monster after the crimes that he did, right? So, according to the diagnosis, that the psychology, okay, he had mental problems, so he had it, and it shows you that he was responsible for his crimes. I mean, to put a lingerie on you. That's disgusting, I know, but this is one of the things that he actually did. He was convicted a lot. He was convicted. Now,
I hadn't even heard that name, so no, I don't actually know who that was. What's the option?
Well, I don't think you want the cold-blooded psychopath option. I might be wrong. Okay, because don't get me wrong, I've met guys who actually kind of enjoyed the notoriety, got off on it. Got off on having that label. Bernardo being one of them. I don't see that in you. If I saw that in you, I wouldn't be back in here talking to you, quite frankly. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you got me fooled. I don't know. This is over. And it can have a bad ending where Jessica's parents continue to wonder where her daughter's lying, And I don't know. I mean, obviously, there's a huge search still underway, and it'll continue. It'll continue until her body's found. That might even happen tonight, for all I know. Once that happens, then I don't know what other cards you would have to play.
The investigator said that he's a truly a cold-blooded psychopath. Of course, he's a cold-blooded psychopath after um, after confessing. And guys, this is just terrible, terrible things that he did. So they call him a new kind of monster. All of the crime things that he did. Jessica was the one that didn't come back from home after he did that. And according to the American Journal of Psychiatry, the Journal of the American Psychiatric Association, these four criteria used to identify paraphilia, and Williams fit them. So the psychology also behind this person, that he had paraphilia. Okay, he used to go to women's bedrooms and use lingerie. Okay, so this person is a true psychopath, and psychopath do this thing. Okay, with the lingerie and go to women's beds. Excuse me, this is ridiculous. This is like a new kind of monster, as they describe him. So let's continue to watch it.
What are we going to do? How long has she been there for?
Can't remember what actually I did with that tape, but probably threw it in the garbage. And let her go later on.
Okay. Their underwear?
I don't know.
You didn't discuss it with them or anything? So where in Tweed would their underwear be?
In the there's a laundry room area.
Okay.
Just between the house and the garage.
Right. So where in that laundry room area would they be kept?
There's a cupboard up top. They're in a duffel bag.
What's the duffel bag look like?
It's a green army duffel bag.
Okay. Are they all in the same duffel bag? Is there anything else in that duffel bag?
Just underwear.
Okay.
I want to go show you guys that how that you can see that he has a confession about what he did. Okay, so another about the psychology of this Rusell Williams. Okay, you see he's looking down. Okay, if you found guilty, you wouldn't really look down to to um to tell the interrogator that. right? But in his case, I think that he is not really here lying and hiding it like the what psychopaths do, because they're psychopaths. But this person really looked down, and it's also like showing that he is actually confessing to being caught. So I hope you guys really enjoy this quick highlights of Russell Williams in Crime Spot. I hope it really helped you to to understand who he really was and psychology. If you find it interesting, stay tuned. Thank you guys.